Good morning and welcome to the Red Mic. Happy Tuesday. Glad you're here today. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message. What does the movie Roadhouse have in common with, for lack of a better term, uh, a Mexican spiritualist, a, a Mexican writer, a gentleman named Don Miguel Ruiz. What possibly could this deep thinker, this philosopher, have in common with Roadhouse? Well, of course, I found a tie, right? uh, Don Miguel Ruiz in late 90s, 97, 98 or so, wrote a book called The Four Agreements. And it's sort of a guide to personal freedom and inner peace. The four things he said that you need to do are be impeccable with your word. In other words, speak with honesty and integrity. Use your words to build up rather than tear down. Don't take anything personally. Excuse me. Don't take anything personally. Remember that other people's actions and their words reflect their reality, not yours. By the way, yes. It's my favorite Texas flag, even though there's no proof that this flag actually flew in Texas. The Zavala flag. Love this one. Okay. Third agreement. Don't make assumptions. You know, I learned that growing up. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, right? His thought was that if you seek clarity by asking questions, you're going to reduce misunderstandings and it's going to help you make genuine connections with people. And then always do your best. That's an old Cub Scout mantra. Do your best. Learn that one early. Uh, Accept that your best changes daily, though. Um, like Toby Keith, the late Toby Keith mentioned, I may not be as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. So your best is going to change daily. So let go of self judgment, blame, and regret. Now, the one we're going to focus on is don't take anything personally. So one of Don Miguel's four agreements relates directly to Roadhouse. I was reading this last night and I was like, well, that sounds like Dalton. In life, you're going to get a lot of punches thrown your way, not just physical punches, but words, actions, attitudes, and they can be just as tough, just as harsh. And your instinct might be immediately to fight back, react with anger or frustration. But Dalton and Roadhouse, he told us what we need to do, right? Be nice. It's not about letting people walk on you, though. It's choosing inner peace over reaction and understanding that what people say, frankly, is a reflection often about them and not you. Um, Dalton said, if someone gets in your face, it's nothing personal. It's just a job. Um, and then there were some off color questions from the staff, and frankly, they were people that didn't last very long either. So, um, and you might recall in Roadhouse, Dalton was a philosopher himself. He did yoga. Yeah. Yes, he also ripped someone's throat out, but literary license, right? Um, you've got to learn how to communicate better. Dalton told his folks there at the Double Deuce, hey, ask questions instead of making assumptions. if you are trying to find clarity, it's going to keep you grounded, right? Um, don't assume you know anybody's story. Everybody's fighting a battle that you don't know about, right? Sometimes it's not about rudeness. Um, it's it's not about rudeness about you. I mean, you know, they could just be having a bad day. Now, maybe they are a horrible, horrible person. Um, Friends reference, by the way. Um, More often than not, though, try to make the assumption that someone's just having a bad day. Try mindful detachment. When things get heated, when things get stressful, take a breath. Remind yourself, this is not about me. You know, again, Dalton's team at the Double Deuce, they learned how to stay calm. Take a breath. Handle things without letting the outside storm in. Part of that's also self reflection, right? So sometimes just thinking to yourself, Seinfeld reference, serenity now. No, I choose peace or be nice. That attitude, that mantra, that philosophy, that way of life, it can anchor you in those challenging moments, right? It gets you back to ground zero. It's your it's your centering, right? It helps you stay steady. Almost think of it like a protective bubble around you. And that shield is strong enough that nothing negative is going to get in. It's going to roll off. It's water off a duck's back. It's not going to harsh your calm, right? But all that being said, remember Dalton also said, I want you to be nice until it's time to not be nice. At some point, you got to take off those nice gloves, right? And you remember one of his bouncers said, well, how will we know when it's time to not be nice? And he said, you won't. I'll let you know. Dalton's whole attitude about conflict was stay calm and composed. Don't escalate unnecessarily. Maintain control of the situation, but acknowledge that there are limits, right? Again, going back to Don Miguel Ruiz, the four agreements. It's a guide to personal freedom and inner peace. Be impeccable with your word. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best. And don't take anything personally. Be nice until it's time to not be nice. Dalton was always prepared to act decisively if he had to, but only when it was completely necessary. And he always used clear judgment. Well, maybe not at the end when he was fighting Jimmy, but you know what I'm talking about. Balance strength with patience. And show people that being nice doesn't mean being weak. It means you're staying in control and choosing your responses and your actions thoughtfully. And that's today's Red Knight message. I've got a little bit more to say, but I'm also about to start coughing and hacking because it's Austin and allergies abound, right? I appreciate you being here. These Red Mike messages are for you. I am so very thankful that you take the time to listen to these every day. And it doesn't matter where you are, whether it's on Facebook or LinkedIn or Spotify or Instagram or even on Rumble or Audible. This is Audible. I appreciate you so much. I'm glad you're here. I hope you will come back tomorrow. Please give me a like, a follow, and a share. I'd appreciate that so very much. I'll see you again tomorrow. And remember, life is short. Drink the bourbon.